Before we get to our program, I want to briefly thank some of the people that made this day possible. First and foremost are the co-chairs of this event, Dave Randall and Mark Treitel. Mark is a former president of LAIPLA, and he co-founded TechTainment 5 years ago and has worked on this event every year since then. Dave has been the co-chair for the past 2 years, and he's also on the board of directors at LAIPLA. So thank you very much to Dave and Mark. They didn't do it alone, though. They certainly had a lot of help. One person who helped them is our administrator, Gail Emery, who checked you in this morning, and she's still hard at work right now, but thank you, Gail. And they also had a committee, a large committee of volunteers. And when I say volunteers, these really are volunteers. They're not doing this for money. They're really just doing this to help out. And there's so many people I can't go through them, and you'll meet a lot of them today, but there is one person I want to talk about briefly right now because you're going to hear from him next. And that's the first person on the list, and that's Professor Justin Hughes. He is a distinguished professor of law at Loyola Law School. He teaches classes that are near and dear to my heart, which is to say a wide range of intellectual property classes, including copyright, trademark, and patent law. He previously worked in the Obama administration as the chief negotiator for treaties related to intellectual property, and before that, he practiced law in Paris and Los Angeles. Please extend a warm welcome to Professor Hughes.
Good morning, everyone. I will be very short and sweet. On behalf of Loyola Law School, I want to welcome you to TechTainment 5.0. It is Loyola Law School and Loyola Marymount University's great pleasure to co-sponsor this event. And Loyola Law School has an extensive program in intellectual property and entertainment law. We are proud to have one of the country's top 10 entertainment law programs. So for us, TechTainment fits right into what we do and what we like to do. But I have to tell you that although we are a co-sponsor, all those other names, the ones that aren't Loyola names, are the people who really did all the work for this event. And while in the past we have had the pleasure of hosting TechTainment on the law school campus, this year we have the pleasure of hosting TechTainment at the Playa Vista campus. And our true host for that event, it's my great pleasure to introduce Dean Peggy Rajski, who is Dean of the School of Film and Television. Dean Rajski has an extraordinary history. She is an Academy Award winner in her own right. She has co-produced many films, including with Martin Scorsese, and producing, I believe, Jodie Foster's directorial debut. Is that right? And her own directorial debut won an Academy Award, a short called Trevor, about a young gay man, which led to the creation of the Trevor Project, which is one of the most important LGBTQ nonprofits and charities in the country. So Loyola was very, very fortunate to steal Dean Rajski away from NYU's film school very recently. And with that, I hope we can all give her a very, very warm Los Angeles welcome.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to TechTainment 5.0. Very happy to have you here and delighted to be able to host again. And I appreciate that we are able to partner with the Los Angeles Intellectual Property Law Association as part of this. You know, just a couple of weeks ago, we hosted an event here called The Portal in partnership with Film Independent, who are a wonderful nonprofit that are champions of creative storytelling in the independent community. And part of what the portal was focused on was bringing the very best of immersive entertainment projects from around the world for people to see here. And they covered a wide swath of genres, you know, including a project called Common Ground that showcased what was going on in London around a social development project, one of the largest in the world, that was built in the 1960s and was being now redeveloped and knocking out the working class tenants that had been there for decades. There was another one that was an adaptation of a novel from award-winning Neil Gaiman that was called Wolves in the Wall. And we also had Reggie Watts do his trippy music video called Running, which took you into what it was like to be at a dance party, and let me just say I got to experience what it was like to have people morph through me and back through me, and it took me back to my early days in the 70s. And don't tell anyone. Here's what's great. All these advances are changing not just the way we experience films, but the tools by which they're told. So what I love to remember is that the entertainment industry really came about because of technological advances. For those of you who don't know, this goes back to 1895 with the Lumiere brothers, who started the first film, to the talkies, the first one made in 1927, and then on to today, where all that has morphed into television, streaming, internet, cable, and immersive. So these innovations have always raised perplexing legal as well as business opportunities and challenges. And the issues you're going to be discussing today, the rise of deep fakes, esports, tournaments, electronic overload, are timely and relevant to all our industries and to our larger society. As a top 10 film school, we're committed to keeping our students always abreast of these trends, technologies, and their implications. And we make sure our students have exposure to those issues as well as the chance to experiment with these innovative techniques. And I just have to say, as a point of pride, that I love pointing out that we have several alumni who are working in this community who've come out over the last few years and have doing quite successful work here. And they include Travis Cook, who's the head of VR and immersive tech for Riot Films. There's John Bashiam, who set up and founded his own company, Warm and Fuzzy, which is an animation and visual effects studio whose clients include Facebook, Apple, and NBC. And Leilani Ramirez, who manages like 15 dialogue teams for all PlayStation's content. These and many of our other alumni are the folks who keep us engaged with this. I'm happy that we helped give them what they needed to go out in the world, and they help bring back what we need to stay current. So the other thing that's great is that we have faculty who are actively engaged in scholarship about technology, media, and entertainment. And one of our newest professors, Mickey Cresback, who comes to us and is going to be on the panel today. Her research encompasses emerging media and popular digital health technologies. And I'm delighted that she'll be participating later today. So, what can I say other than I look forward to the conversations that come out of TechTainment today. And once again, I thank you all for being here. May the force be with you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Roya Ramanpour. I'm here to introduce our first panel, which is called Electronics Overload. So just a short description of this panel. Together, technology and content providers have redefined entertainment to create platforms that have become completely integrated in real life and more addictive than ever. It's no surprise, therefore, that the average American adult currently spends 8.5 hours a day in front of a screen, and the average American child 8 to 18 years old over 7 hours a day. This panel of experts will explore growing trends by technology and entertainment companies to balance competing interests of consumers and shareholders, including looking at the available tools. This panel includes educator Jason Ablin of Ablin Education, Joseph Hellige, professor of psychology at Loyola Marymount University, Mickey Cresback, Loyola Marymount University School of Film and Television, Claudine Sokol, vice president, media commercial advertiser agency services at Nielsen, and this will be moderated by our own Mark Treitel of Quinn Emanuel. Thank you.